Welcome back to Roast Education. This is that. Today we're going to be talking about CCIV once more. Now I did cover this one extensively twice before. First one was an extensive DD about Lucid Motors, who they are, some of the products, some of the projects due, and then I gave an update on it regarding that it is not in fact confirmed yet. I gave my reasoning why I think it's most likely going to go through, and this one here, I'm going to bring an update from both these two due diligence before. If you would like to watch them, you'll find it in the description below. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe, and notifications on, and let's jump right into this one. So, CCIV, this one is heavily rumored that it's going to go ahead and basically reverse merge with Lucid Motors. Lucid Motors, I did cover it before, but they do have different products, starting with the Lucid Air. The limited edition is coming up, delivering sometime in spring 2021. And one of the latest things that we've heard from them was the note from Peter Rowlson. And this is actually very, very bullish in general. So basically, they share a little bit of their entire progress. So their grand reveal, that was in September, they had they showed basically Lucid Air. And it is set to be a true benchmark for the quickest, aerodynamic, longest range, and fastest charging luxury electric vehicle ever made. And then moving on forward, this is an update around their factory. As you get to see, it's starting to look really like a full-on completed factory in general. And a little bit off what they're marking here is early in December marked completion of Lucid AMP1, the first greenfield factory in the future of electrical vehicle production. It took shape rather quickly as we broke grounds in Casa Grande, Arizona, barely a year prior, finished construction in record time. Now, I honestly anticipated it somewhere being February, but it is amazing that they've done it all around, and it's actually ready for full production pretty much soon enough. They've already employed 600 new employees there, and it is ready to start making cars. Now, the Beta 2 prototypes, this is basically throughout the fall, they've started beginning to test this Beta 2 prototype, and the Beta 2S prototypes were built at the AMP1 factory. This one here. So that's as well really bullish, with a look and a feel and functionality remarkable in line with the production of Lucid Air. Now, accelerating forward, here's what they say. Progress has been made in nearly every corner of the company as we tirelessly perfect our premier vehicle, but I'd also like to speak to the year ahead. Make no mistake, 2021 will be a critical time for EV industry as a whole. It's time for transformation. Stateside, we expect climate change to be a key focus in the American administration, which we already seen with a lot of different things that Biden has been signing regarding, for instance, getting back to the Paris Agreement, and climate change is definitely on his agenda for the first 100 days. Much like elsewhere, electrification is a technology race, and through that you'll have options. It's my belief and devotion, and the efficiency will put pure air above any competition. And basically, they don't really confirm about anything regarding the merger in general. But to be frank on this one here, if you were to go back to the replay that is available for the CCIV conference with CEO Kelvin and the fireside chat with IPO Edge for the ICR conference, right around here, I do recommend you watch the entire thing. But I do want to highlight here. So basically they were mentioning about a couple of SPACs deals that has caused this shift towards basically general SPACs, whether for ventures, etc. So you'll go on and watch it. But in general, I want to just iterate a little bit of what they saw here, what they mentioned here. They have a lot of great credibility when they make approaches, which they do generally exclusively, because they can commit to close the transaction. More than 50% of the quote SPAC is owned by a small group of people that were directly engaged because we have very large capital behind us. We can commit the closer we get. I think our choice, we don't get negative selections. We get to choose companies in each situation we've closed for acquisition. Each of them exclusively sourced by us because of the specific relation that we now, as these processes go forward with all SPAC activity, etc. So in general, you don't think even if CCIV is taking a quick look and Lucid Motors is, even if it's all rumors, it's definitely going to spark a conversation between them too. Now, they did issue a statement back in January 19th, and they said that they cannot comment on any of them. Basically, right here, we do not generally comment on rumors and speculations and will not comment on whether the company is or is not pursuing a specific business opportunity. Rather than just saying, other than that, saying as noted, we're always evaluating a number of potential business combinations. Now, a big thing, of course, they're not going to outright say yes or no. This is understandable because the actual agreement is not finalized if it is not actually a rumor. And look at all the institutional buyers that are very bullish about this one and adding more and more shares. Now, the quick question for us here is, why are they adding it, especially in the last week or so? There's been more than around 300,000 shares added. And the quick question is, perhaps institutional buyers know something we don't. And is that true? We're not able to right off to say a thing that is something the CEO will be able to think about himself, and he actually does know that, but unfortunately we're not able to know that. But in all technicality, it is very likely that this kind of information usually actually follows through. They're not confirmed, but the rumors, and treat them as such. So before moving on towards technical analysis and explaining a little bit of the strategies that, or the outcomes that might happen, please make sure to subscribe. It really helps my channel and it ranks me higher in the algorithms. It really does help me. If you would like to join our Discord chat room, it's down in the description below. We don't do any kind of source of pumping. It's just more of resourceful, helping other folks, and just chatting all together. So right now, on a one-day perspective, because a 1 week will not really give you much details since this one was a SPAC in general. So on a one-day perspective, ADX is way above 50, but it has been for a while, ever since really it was above around $10. So the ADX is actually broken in that sense. So the next thing here is the Williams%R. You can see it's highly overbought, and that is understandable after a massive push of 25% to $22. And the MACD is actually pushing upwards, and the momentum is looking really good. Now, on it to and the moving averages, 10 SMA is above 30 EMA. Reversals are most likely to happen at 1659 to 1345, exclusively to positive reversals. That's the region where positive reversals are likely. Now, the 10 SMA, which is a green line, is above the 30 EMA, and that indicates that it is in a bullish action. It's above the 50 SMA, which is again that the price point is above the 50-day average. Now, on a 2-hour perspective, things are looking a lot better. The ADX here is a little bit more reliable. It does tell you that there is a very strong potential of a trend forming here. Again, the moving averages are all bullish. It went momentarily bearish in the pre-market and then just skyrocketed and shot up. Now, on the MACD, it does look bullish, and it looks like there is potential for it to move forward. Now, the next thing here is the moving averages. For the sake of the argument, this one is trading 1465 at the top, 1332 in the middle, and 1198 in the bottom. Now, I don't like the Bollinger Bands because you get to see the range is massive, 2129 to 535. Volumes have been steady. It has accumulated in a few days, and you can expect for it to accumulate later on, but the stochastic fast and stochastic slow are both showing there is a strong potential for another leg up. Now, on the Fibonacci retracements, you get to see that the current support level sits at 1987, followed by 1768, followed by 1614, 1459, and 1269. Now, using the traditional price line actions, you get to see the significant resistance sits at currently 2219. Below there, a support at 2189. Below there, a very, very strong support at the 1994. Below there, 1906. Below there, 1848. And then 1783, a very strong one at 1737, followed by a weaker one at 1697, followed by 1651, 1552, and then all the way down to 1409. Now comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Well, I was very bullish on this, around this area here. That was 14 something, so that was around almost $8 ago. And with around almost 100% or so, or let's say 80% up, it is looking a little bit choppy for me in my perspective. I do think if you're going to trade this, it will have another leg up. You might have some things coming up from short sellers that are going to basically straight out be speculative about this deal and whether it's actually going to go through or not. And if in fact CCIV says, hey, we're not actually merging with this one, or hey, we're actually merging with that other company, this will tank. Now, the big question is it going to go through? It is literally a bet. Now, most likely it's a yes more than not, and that is something you need to consider. On terms of a long investment, if it was in fact Lucid Motors, then I definitely think go ahead. It's a no-brainer. It's an EV. It's an American EV. This is one of the second EVs and on track to be the second biggest EV exclusively. It is literally trying to be a Tesla. It's catching up. And you know what? Later on, you're going to have all these different investors. Remember, Nikola, how desperate other companies were trying to get on that EV train? Well, this one actually has working prototypes. This one has a factory built up and everything. And they have production lines. So this one is way better than the other one in terms of readiness. And I definitely think if it does go through, this one will probably easily see $100 in up to $100 in the next 10 years. That is my perspective on it. Again, be careful of rumors and speculations. If that is something that would scare you, just try to put a stop limit. That works. What do you think about this sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.